Hi, friends. Oh my gosh, you'll never believe this. I just spent like 20 minutes recording this lesson only to find that you could only see me. You could not see this over here, which is kind of cool that I can do this because, well, you can see here, I've got my phone hooked up to this contraption and then it's on here. And so I have my phone actually as like a person that's called into Zoom. I know. I'm really excited about it. Okay, so let's talk about your writing. Okay, you guys have been working on realistic fiction. Some of you have been mixing it up and doing fiction and realistic fiction as well. Both of those. Today I'm going to teach you on how writers use checklists to help them think about what they're doing well and to help set goals. Yes, goal setting. You guys are so good at it, and it's such an important part of learning. So, oh no, well, battery. Oh, that's Knox when he was little. It's so cute. Can I do it in little? Okay, we're gonna try. Zoom in. Yeah. Okay, so where was I? I don't know, but that's okay. So today we are going to introduce checklists. Okay, I've got some checklists here that I used on my last lesson, so you'll have to just act like they're blank, but that's okay. And I've linked them in this slideshow, so parents, you can print them if you have not printed them already. Guys, you can choose which checklist you want, okay? I have one for kindergarten. It looks like this. We'll zoom in on it, and I'm going to read it to you. Okay, see that? Okay, the first one says, I can read my writing. Oh man, it is so important to be able to read your own writing. That's why I always say, I want to see your work and not someone else's work, because oftentimes you guys get so hung up on spelling everything right, but you haven't yet learned all of those crazy English spelling rules. And so when you get help from someone and you spell it correctly, when you look at it, it looks like a foreign word. It looks like something you've never seen before. Instead, I want you to really sound out those sounds that you hear and those letters, and make sure that every sound has a letter that matches with it. And that's going to be in this checklist too. But I would rather you have writing that's your own and that shows me how you used letters and sounds together, because that actually helps me be a better teacher for you. So try really hard to just do your best on spelling. Your best is what I want, okay? And it might look totally weird and you have to like really like, maybe your parents can't read it. And maybe I can't read it, but that's okay, because you're still learning and you're practicing. And that's a very important part of this whole thing, okay? So don't stress out about it. Just do your best and spell as best you can. Okay, so reading your writing. I want you to be able to read the story to me, or to your mom, or to your dad, or to your grandma, to your grandpa. Okay, then I want you to make sure you have a letter for each sound, just like I said. I want you to make sure you use those word walls. Okay, word walls, so important. That's the thing I gotta make a little note, because, ow, pulled my shoulder a little bit. I sent you guys home with one, but some of you did not get your little packet I made you, which is fine. So I'm going to link them again in this slideshow so that you have your word walls, because those are like all the sight words, all the snap words. It's so nice to have that, because none of those words really follow any sort of pattern. They're kind of weird, but they're the ones you see over and over and over, okay? I put spaces between my words. Finger spaces, so important. I use lowercase letters and less capitals where needed. The only time you're going to use a capital is the very first word of a new sentence, and only the first letter is capitalized. Or if you have a name in your story, which these you're going to have lots of names, right? You're going to have your character, your main character's name. You're going to probably write it a lot. You want to make sure you have a capital letter for the first. Same with your name. When you write your name on the top, that first letter is always a capital letter, right? A big letter. Okay. I wrote capital letters to start every sentence. Great. And I put a period at the end of every sentence. Great. Okay. If you did these things, check them off. Now, I don't want you to just go down your checklist and go check, 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 check. No, because you have to actually find where you do these things right and where you're actually working on these things in your writing. You have to draw a little star or a smiley face, or if you have a highlighter, you can highlight those spots. That would make me so happy. But a little smiley face next to the areas where you did this at least once. So I don't need to go by every capital letter and put a smiley face, but just show me that you did that at least once in your writing. Great, happy. Okay, kindergartners, emerging readers. Okay, this is your checklist you're gonna wanna use. I have this awesome one for first and second graders. Okay, now I'm gonna read the first grade one. Some of them I'm gonna show you how, if you want to like elevate your work a little bit, or if you're a second grader, I'll point out the things that are gonna be a little different on your side of the checklist. But this is a really great checklist to have for first grade because you can see what you're working towards and what goals you wanna set. Okay, so let's get through this. So small, but that's okay. I just want you guys, if you're working on this on your own, I want to be sure that you know what these say. Okay, so kind of follow along with me so that you can see these words and then your brain stores it. It's kind of cool when you actually look at it. Okay, I wrote about when I did something. Okay, now this is a narrative checklist. It's the best one for realistic fiction. I know, there's not an actual realistic fiction one. This one is gonna be the best. Now, you did not write about something you did. Hopefully you wrote about something your character did, but it's going to be a realistic thing, and it could be something that happened to you. So yeah, if you wrote about something that happened to somebody, great, check it off. There is, not yet, that would be weird. Starting to, maybe, and then yes, okay? So you could check that off. I tried to make a beginning for my story. Did you try? Do you have a beginning? Did you go back and think on it a little bit and elaborate a little bit more and think about, ask yourself, is the reader intrigued? Is the reader interested? Okay, what could you do to make your beginning more interesting? What could you add? Could you add action? Could you add dialogue, talking? Could you add feelings? All those things will make it way more interesting for the reader. And second grade, you'll notice that's exactly what they want you to do. Okay. I put pages in order, and I use transition words such as and then, and so. Okay, if you're wanting a little bit more of a challenge, here are some options for you. Transition words, order words such as when, then, and after. Okay. All right. Ending. I found a way to end my story. Simple enough. Did you end your story? Okay. Please don't tell me that you have an ending because you have the words the end. That's not an ending. Okay, I have to know what happens to the character. I have to know how the character gets out of trouble. You have to tell me. Okay, I don't want to be like, I need an ending. That's the worst when you're reading a story. All right. I wrote my story across 3 or more pages. So hopefully you did not write it all on one page, okay? Because you have to be able to go have space to go back and add more and change things. And I'll show you how I did that with a flap. I'll show you what I did. I put a picture from my mind onto the pages. I had details in pictures and words. Okay, so great. I want you to spend a little bit of time on your pictures. You know, it's nice for the reader to have something, but remember, you're going to be going back to these and making changes and marking things up and moving things around. So these should not be your final images, okay? That comes later. That comes after we have a little chat about, you know, the things that we're going to work on, and you make those changes, and then you have to rewrite it. I know. Some of you are going to be like, what? I spent so much time on my pictures. Oh, really? Yeah, really. And you guys know that because that's what we do at school. And I still have to tell a lot of you guys the same thing over and over. But that's okay. That's okay because this is good practice. And if you're so connected to those pictures, you could always cut them out and glue them on. I'm fine with that. Okay? I used all I knew. Oh, I'm losing power. Oh no. Okay. I gotta speed up here. I used all I know about words and chunks of words and different sounds. Okay, thinking about that and then using your word wall. Okay, really important. Now, let me show you. I'm going to read you Gretchen's story. Gretchen heard a noise. Peep, peep, caw, peep, peep, caw. What is that, she thought. She crouched by the path. It was a fierce, sparkle word, bird. Gretchen felt afraid. I'll be brave, she thought. She scooped up the bird in her sweater. Now, the next page, what I had was Gretchen hit her head in her hands. Crack, she was cold. How'd she get up there? Anybody wondering that? When did she climb up that and get into the treehouse? I don't know. So I added it in, okay? She could hear the thunder smashing, sparkle word, in the clouds. She saw the dark clouds moving in, so she decided to climb up into her treehouse. There we go. Much better. Thanks. Okay. She hid her head in her hands. Then the storm passed. Gretchen's mom yelled, here's my ending, Gretchen, come inside and get dry. I made hot chocolate. Gretchen climbed down the treehouse. She felt safe at last. Good story, myself. Thanks, guys. Okay, go on. You guys are going to work on this. Make sure you have a checklist. You're going to go through it. Now listen. It's very important to me that you're not just check, 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 check. You have to find the evidence in your books. So, smiley face, star, or highlight, or post-it note next to those great things that you find that you're doing well in your checklist. And then I want you to circle on the checklist the things that you need to work on. In Seesaw today, your assignment is going to be to take pictures of all of your story, every page, and your checklist completed. And then I want you to do a microphone voiceover and read me your story, page by page. Okay, I want to hear it and hear your voice. It's very important to me. Okay, make goals for yourself. Okay, make goals based on your checklist on things you're going to work on. Not only in this one story that you're adding to and doing the checklist on, but your other stories too. You need to have more stories. Okay, write more stories, write more stories, write more stories. Love you. Okay.